with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew.
Glory to you, O Lord.
When Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of King Herod, behold, the magi from the east arrived in Jerusalem, saying, "Where is the newborn King of the Jews? We saw his star at its rising and have come to do him homage." When King Herod heard this, he was greatly troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. Assembling all the chief priests and the scribes of the people, he inquired of them where the Christ was to be born. They said to him, "In Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it has been written through the prophet, 'And you, Bethlehem, land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah, since from you shall come a ruler who is to shepherd my people Israel.'" Then Herod called the magi secretly and ascertained from them the time of the star's appearance. He sent them to Bethlehem and said, "Go and search diligently for the child. When you have found him, bring me word, that I too may go and do him homage." After their audience with the king, they set out. And behold, the star that they had seen at its rising preceded them, until it came and stopped over the place where the child was. They were overjoyed at seeing the star, and on entering the house, they saw the child with Mary, his mother. They prostrated themselves and did him homage. Then they opened their treasures and offered him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream not to return to Herod, they departed for their country by another way. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
What's the most important meal of the day? According to professional nutritional experts and mothers everywhere, breakfast. Why? Because it's important to get the day off to a good start. What's the most crucial moment in a 100-yard dash, according to the runners? It's the first step after the starting gun. Why? Because the race is often won by the runner who can correctly anticipate the start. Begin too soon, and the runner is disqualified. Begin too late, and the runner loses the race. It's important to get off to a good start. What's the most delicate sentence to write in a novel or to speak at a sales presentation? The opening line. Why? Because this sentence will be the hook that determines whether your audience will take the journey with you. It's worth the agony spent by those who craft their words carefully. It's important to get off to a good start. A good start isn't that we all want. It is what we all want here as we open a new year, 2024. 'Tis the season for for resolutions on shaping up our waistlines, our budgets, and our calendars. What do we really want with these resolutions? We want to make a good start. Today's feast of the Epiphany, celebrated in the church worldwide, tells the story again of God's great love for the entire world. Epiphany is the feast when we read scripture that shows how God reveals his glory and his love for humankind. Our passage this morning tells of magi who visited Jesus when he was a tiny child. They brought gifts to the newborn for the same reason we bring gifts to baby showers. They wanted to celebrate the arrival of a baby, and they wanted to help that child get off to a good start. So since Matthew chose to begin his gospel with the story of these wise men, he must have considered their example a fitting sign of a good start. For those of us who want to make a good start in this new year, maybe the Magi can give us a few pointers. Here are two New Year's resolutions we might overlook in our battle with losing pounds and gaining dollars. Call them the resolutions of wise men and wise women. These will help all of us get the year off to a good start. First of all, pay attention to mystery. Pay attention to mystery. If you want to start this year right, ask God for the wisdom to notice the mystery of holiness all around you. Try to see the small miracles in your life and be grateful. Pray for openness to see the goodness in unexpected places and unexpected people. Learn to look for signs of God at work in the world. Train your mind to believe the best about people and look for evidence that confirms that premise. To do this, you must slow down the RPMs of your life motor. You must develop a sense of humor, a sense of trust, a sense of wonder. It's really simple. Pray, listen, and watch. And soon you will see God everywhere. And you will be overwhelmed by the essential goodness of people. You will have hope for the future because you have hope in God. For example, try this. Read the paper today or tomorrow or the next day with an eye for goodness. I know the paper specializes in stories of gloom and crime and tragedy. But that's only part of the real human story going on around you. But even in the newspaper, with its bias for feeding our morbid curiosity for the tragic, see if you can find stories that tell of the goodness of people. Who emerged with heroism in the face of tragedy? Who had the courage to stand up for justice in a painful moment? who upheld a sacred value in the midst of turmoil. And thank God for them. Soon you will begin to notice the presence of goodness in people all around you. And know this, if goodness surrounds you, how much more does God surround you? The problem is not that God is not present. It is that we are usually not seeing. This year, let's learn to see, just as the magi did. Our second New Year's resolution might well be to be more generous. Once we begin to recognize goodness in people, in the presence of God and the world, we are moved to respond. Christians do not hover at a safe distance over the world's tragedy like a news helicopter. Christians respond like the hospital helicopter, with rescue and courage. In like manner, Christians do not sense the mystery of God's presence in our world without responding. So when you see a human need or a chance to make a difference in the world, using the resources God has given you, you must respond. And there's a deep satisfaction in this. There's a deep joy in this. Look for signs of God this year, where God is at work, and join in. And when you arrive at the presence of God, as the wise men did at Bethlehem, open your heart and your gifts with gladness. Then you will discover yourself giving away your gold and frankincense and myrrh instead of clinging to it or hoarding it. In short, you will become like the magi. You will have become an epiphany, the manifestation of God's love in the world for someone who needs you. If your resolutions ask you to pay attention to mystery and to be more generous, that's what I would call a great start to a new year of God's grace.